If you've ever been curious how a set of Strat pickups are made, stay tuned because I'm going to go over all the components and all the steps to make a set from start to finish. The component list is bottom bobbins, top bobbins, magnets, and these little guys here, eyelets. There's 6, 2 for each. And you got your lead wires, black for ground, white for hot. We also have a jig. This just helps us line up the spacing. So the first step is to put in the magnet into the bobbin. To do that, this kind of orients it, keeps it straight. You line that up and you press it in and you have it there, and I'll show you how to line it up. To line it up, have it through here and you line it up with the hole. Pretty simple, just like I said. And that holds it straight, and then we get that under the arbor press and you just push it down lightly, pull that off. Now you have it straight. That way it doesn't go into the bobbin crooked. So once we've done that, we've got those 2 end pieces in, we use the jig. So this breaks apart and this has the proper spacing for it. So we just lock this in like this. So now you can see we've got the end magnets, those are in there, and we have the middle 4. So this way we can just take the 4 magnets, grab 4 of them, and we just place them in the holes. Just like that. So now you can see they're a little bit taller. They need to be pressed. So you just punch them in. Now they're all the same size. They're all in the bottom. Now the next step is to place the top bobbin on. So you line up those holes and we will push this down. So now we've got that lined up and centered. And now we have another jig, which will let me just punch those holes through the middle so we don't damage the top bobbin. So you just line it up there and then push down on this. So that you get those bobbins punched through there so you don't damage the top. Now that that's done, we can take this jig off. And the jig does 2 purposes. One, it orients these magnets to the right spacing, and it also gives the thickness of the coil height that we're after. So that would be a perfect coil height. So now we have the bobbin. The next step here is to take an eyelet, the little eyelet there. This is an eyelet tool, just to hold that in there, and then you take it into the bottom and you just push it in. So now you can see we have an eyelet, and each bobbin is going to take 2. That's going to be your start wire and your end wire for your hot and your cold. The next step is to nitro dip it. This step is going to nitro dip. This is nitrocellulose with some lacquer thinner, just to thin it out so it doesn't get too thick. The purpose of this is to protect the coil and stabilize the bobbin. Some people skip this. This is more vintage correct. You can use the tape. There's no wrong way. I prefer this because the tape can go on different. That can change the geometry of the coil, which ultimately changes your tone at the end of the day. So to dip, I just got this. I dip it in there. Usually do that a couple times. Give it a little shake. Shake off the excess, as you can see it kind of dripping there. And then from here, I just hang it on this little hook. That's going to dry off. This takes about 24 hours, but I do have one done up, and we're going to go wind this next. So now we're ready to wind, and as you can see here, the start, you just wrap that wire around a few times Get it tied on there essentially. We can cut that little piece off. That's going to be the start. And now I'll show you here where we can put this on the winder. All right, so we get this put on our winder, and depending on how you're winding it, you know, it may go on a little bit different, but I'll get this up and I'll show you the next step. So now I have it secured on here, the bobbin, and there's the eyelet we tied. You can see the wire coming into my winder's little pulley system and through a little tension control unit. And this is hand wound. So this one is my B76 Bloom bridge that we're making here. And there's a dial on my winder. So when I wind and voice a set, I do it by hand and control the traverse. And then I save that setting so that when I get a tone that I want out of a pickup, I can record it and replicate it. In the old days, doing it and pinching it physically by your hand, just slight tensions in that pinching of the wire is going to affect the tone. That changes your inductance, capacitance, and all those other things. And if you're manually going back and forth, it's never 100% the same every time. That's also going to reshape the coil and how the scatter is. So your voicing, no pickup is going to sound the same. And the concept with this machine is if I get a tone I like and I share it with somebody and they want that sound, I can give them that exact pickup from it. So now that this is on here, we're going to hit a pre-roll. This is going to just put a few winds on here, about 8 or 9 winds, just to get it set up. Now I can check to make sure the alignment is correct. So I look, and that's just to see the wire on the base of it. And then I hit start. And this is going to wind. And this is going to take, I don't know, 6-7 minutes, something along that line. And when it's done, I will show you how to connect the lead wires. Okay, this is about to finish. There's about 100 or so winds left. And this is going to automatically shut down. So now it's come to an end. And from here, I just cut the wire off the spool. Again, if your winder's different, however you're doing it, if you're doing it, or just curious how I'm doing it, now that's off. Now I've got this end to the wire here. This goes on the second eyelet. I'm just going to tie this up real quick to save some time. Okay, so that's all tied off. I write on the back the model, A2 magnets, a B for the bridge, so you know what's what. Always remember where the start of the wire is, just for consistency. The start is the ground, so you want to be careful on this part because you can cut the lead wires. So here, you put that wire through the eyelet. I think you can kind of see it. So the wire's sticking out a little bit there. And then from that side, I just anchor it in there, take a bit of solder in your soldering iron, and then you just heat it up. I'll show you here in 1 second. There we go. Showing you guys, I did it a little bit off from what I do. The wire was sticking out a bit more, so I'm going to cut it and just re-hit it to clean that up. There we go. That's better. So now you can see in there that eyelet is done up. And then I'm running out of time on here. TikTok gives 10 minutes and we're pushing it. But that's basically it. You just solder up the next one and you're good to go.